Welcome to 2 Alpha News, the news show the shooting community can use. Join your hosts Manny and Corey as we talk about what's happening in the shooting community today. 2 Alpha News is a live stream that airs exclusively on Rumble, and if you happen to miss the live broadcast, you can always check out the recap on any major podcasting platform. Now let's get to the show. Manny Talk Shooting is proudly presented to you by D2 Custom Guns. Did you know that Phil the Groundhog isn't the only thing Puxatawny, Pennsylvania is famous for? That's right, D2 Custom Guns, the home of Dan Heizenreiter and one of the best, fabulous 2011 builders in the country. So make sure you guys go check him out, D2 Custom, anywhere you can see him on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, go check him out. If you see myself, Patches Reader, anyone with the D2 Custom Guns, make sure you go check him out. And you will thank me later. Now, let's get on to the show. Manny Talk Shooting is proud. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of 2 Alpha News, the new show the shooting community can use. I am your host, Alex. Corey is occupado tonight, so I got the best next guy from Ohio who now is a cheesehead. It's Big Mark, Big Brass, Bigfoot, Centerfoot, Schulte.
How's it going? I'm living the dream. I'm glad to be here and fill in for Corey. I'm good at that.
I mean, you are twice as tall as Corey, so.
Yeah, but we both shoot PCC because we know the way.
Can we call it what he does with the PCC shooting? The world may never know, right?
He's quick.
This is true. But here's the cool thing. Before we get mooring on my normal spiel, we'll just throw up the Bigfoot Brass page.
Ooh, look at that.
I made this last week.
A lot of new stuff. I like that.
Yep,
Manny 5 for the next order.
Yeah. Yep, use 5%. Use Manny 5% off. I will be honest with you. If I get more than a couple cases sold, I get some brass. So help me out. I need brass and Martin's money.
Yeah, I need to definitely move some. Anyone that wants to, also got the bags and the patches up there now. Probably going to be throwing some patches in with some like larger size quantity orders. But
so we got to sell it just like your buddy Ryan, who buys like 7 cases at a time.
Yeah, he bought 7 because that's all I had ready. And I could have got more ready for him, but yeah. But I mean, he loads for a multitude of people, so it's not all just him. But that kid puts in a lot of work. He does a ton of practice. Did
he finally automate, or is he still cranking a hand?
Yes, he has an auto drive on his RL 1100, and then somewhere a couple weeks ago he picked up an Apex 10 manual from somebody, like fully kitted out and rigged out. So he has that now too, and I guess the next move would be to put a motor on that bad boy.
That's not a bad idea.
That's how it starts. You end up, I remember where I was like, oh, I'm not going to need that. And I don't shoot enough to need a progressive. And then I'm like, oh, I don't shoot enough to need an auto drive. And then I'm like, here we are now. I have an Apex 10 and a Revolution and a RL 1100 all automated and a commercial roll sizer.
Yeah, it's pretty important at this point. I'm kind of on the breaking point. My press took a crap this week, so
yeah, I know. We talked all about that. We need to get you set up. I know a guy. We can get you connected down at the Mark 7.
We do know a guy, and my press has been tore apart, and I have some parts coming tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, they eventually there's wear parts in them. I mean, I have got pretty proficient at RL 1100 rebuild. Since just beating the crap out of it with an auto drive. And
I don't even know, honestly, if my parts that I ordered will actually fix it. But my one other buddy, Andrew, who's also on team S3 Range Carts, told me to buy some parts. So
I mean, there's a lot of wear parts that things can get messed up. Without like fully troubleshooting it and see what you had going on, it's hard to. But I kind of do that. I love me some reloading, troubleshooting, helping people. Just help somebody spec out a Black Friday full auto Apex 10 setup to run 9 and 38 super comp in, and turns out you don't need too much. It is a different shell plate, which I didn't realize.
Which is kind of silly. I wouldn't think that there'd be a different shell plate, but I guess.
I wouldn't think so. But somehow it is. I never after Tom told me that from Mark 7, I never went and looked, but I was going to go look at the spec. Like, I guess I wasn't aware that it was different, but it is for some reason.
Yeah, I can imagine that. But
I'll take his
yeah,
word for it. He knows what he's talking about.
exactly. He works for Mark 7.
He's the guy. Yeah. So
He is the guy. But I see that my buddy Tim Overzet, you're in the chat. What's up, brother? It's good to see you on here as always. We got 10. No, we got about 16 people total. We got about six people on YouTube and 10 on Rumble, which is awesome to see. We're trying to do. I know this says we're exclusively on Rumble, but I'm kind of trying to do some things and see where the people are at. So the last stream and this stream are simul streamed onto YouTube and Rumble. So yeah. Nothing wrong there. So Mark, in the beginning part of we got another comment. What's up? It's make stuff better. So speaking of make stuff better, we'll throw the plug in now. I haven't put it on my tree yet, but everyone can see the really cool Manny Talk Shooting Merry Christmas ornament with the dreaded Area 5 stripper pole target.
Oh, that's great. Hiding behind the light pole. Yeah.
Exactly. And then we got there you go. The back. It's pretty freaking sweet. So
that is really sweet. Yeah.
I gotta hang it on the tree.
I'm gonna have to get with him and do some stuff. I got some ideas for a thing I want to make that is totally not firearms related at all, but I need somebody that can cut wood with a laser, and I know he can do that.
He can do that. Oh, and guess what's up? Our buddy Rick Powers is here.
Rick Powers in the building. I can see the chat now. I figured it out.
There we go. And another guy from the Cleveland area, Tony.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everybody. I think pretty much everybody except for Wolfie there has probably, I think, bought brass off of me.
Well, that's a good thing. You need to sell brass because if you don't sell brass, Mark will have to sell his second home in Wisconsin.
I need to sell my house in Cleveland at some point. Hopefully that.
Tell Corey he needs to buy it.
I have been trying to get him to buy it, but he's not interested.
Well, the question is, where in Ohio, where in Cleveland did you live?
It's on the northeast, up the lake, Highland Heights.
Oh, so what is that? Is that east of Avon?
It's way east of Avon. It's an hour east. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he lives like in Elyria, so way closer.
He's an hour from Corey's. Like about an hour was about an hour from me. Now he's about 9 hours from me.
Yeah, this is true.
I was actually just having that conversation because I have 4 or 5 matches at Cardinal, and it's 9 hours to Cardinal from here. And it's like, at what point, what's the threshold? I was having this conversation with my buddy that's up here. It's like, what's the threshold on flying versus driving? You know, everything out of Green Bay requires a connection unless you're going to Detroit, Minneapolis, or Chicago.
Yeah, but you also talked about having your dad pick you up in Detroit.
Yeah, so that's my debate. Is I have another vehicle available to me at my parents' house, so like I could get picked. I could just hop over to Detroit, save the drive through Chicago because it's 4 hours. It's probably like 6 hours to my parents' house from here, 6.5 to my parents' house if you drive right through Chicago, and there's no guarantee on that ever.
Yeah, well, and then you've also got to think the time change too when you get back into Eastern Standard Time Zone.
Yeah.
Oh, look at our friend Alberto
Alberto
finally hanging out in the live chat.
I told Alberto to join. I told him give me a word and I would rap it, and then I said for $5 I'll rhyme it. So then I was after this I was like working on some I was out in the shop working on some stuff after I told him that, and I was thinking, okay, what do I rhyme with Alberto? That's pretty good. But then I was like, like Alberto moving so fast, he's setting the world on fire like an inferno, speed mode set to turbo, big man, open class master Alberto. Like I had it figured out. I was really thinking about how I was going to drop some sweet bars for him, and I just did.
Well, just remember his Axiom guns have no popples, so all they do is spit fireballs out the front.
Spit flame balls. Yeah, I actually sent him a probably about a 45-second rip of me just letting Forgot About Dre acapella, just hammered it. It was awesome. Felt good.
Hell yeah. Well, look we got Tim. He's loading some Bigfoot brass while he's watching. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I sent some over to Tim not too long ago, and that's good. I've been. It's been picking up. It's good, and that's what I kind of needed because if I made this investment, and I was kind of right at that like threshold where I felt like I had to spend way too much time running brass on just the RL 1100, and that's why I ultimately made the leap of faith in the getting that Revo, because I mean that Revo just hammers them out at 3,500 an hour and doesn't even blink.
Right. Yeah, and Rick Power says you can stay with BB or Leland, but if you stay with Leland, you have to wear a visor.
Oh yeah, I could do that. That's a long way from their house is. I mean, Leland's is not bad. Leland's probably only like an hour to Cardinal because he's way down there by the. He's way down south of. I don't even know. I forget the names of all the towns and everything, but he's down there south of Cleveland toward Cardinal.
Yes, Alberto, I do need to come shoot a match in Florida.
Yeah, why aren't you coming this weekend?
Because too close to Christmas, but
that's a terrible excuse. Christmas
I have
like 4 weeks away.
So I have some family who live in Florida. I got to figure out where exactly in Florida so I can like bum a place.
Well, yeah, they live in Key West. You know, that is Florida. They're on the dry Tortuga. Yeah,
well,
they're just out there. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember what side of Florida they live in. All the cool guys will be there. Wait, you're calling Hewins cool?
Yeah.
Hey, okay, Brian, I love you, but it's on the calendar for next year. So it's on the shooting calendar. Come to the Carolina Classic. It is my birthday weekend. I'm just got to figure out flights and how not to die. So if y'all want me to be there,
what Carolinas match you trying to go to?
The Classic in September.
Oh,
it's on the calendar. John told me to put it on there, and I'll die at some point.
I'm supposed to be getting a spot to. I missed the registration for the the South Carolina section match, but the my buddy can't go and he got in, so I'm getting his spot, so I'll be able to go attend that.
So just have him log in to just change his info to your info in practice score.
Yeah, that basically.
It just won't show up on your dashboard, I think.
They can cheat. It says right in the thing there's an email that you can do it and they'll swap it over.
Oh, where they get you in the match. They give you the code to get into the match, and then
I'm waitlisted, so all they would do is dump him and add me off the wait list. I can't believe I missed that because I wanted to go to that.
Matt, John, and I are headed to Florida in the morning. Yeah, and you're going to hang out with Hewins.
It's going to be great. I'm heading on Saturday morning, and then I shoot Sunday. And then
you're kind of pushing it, aren't you?
Why?
I mean, leaving on Saturday?
Why?
Do you have a direct flight from Green Bay?
No, I go Green Bay to Detroit and Detroit to Orlando.
Oh, okay.
I pretty much connect everything through Detroit that's going east of here.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, I can go to for Area 2, I just drove to Milwaukee and got a nonstop to Phoenix. That made the most sense.
Yes.
Because I'm not it's a 2-hour drive, and I went there the night before and could get dropped off at the airport, so that made it worth it.
Not bad at that point.
No, I'll be there Saturday morning. I get in at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. My flight leaves here at 5 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be at the range before noon on Saturday, watching all them clowns shoot, have a good time.
Yeah,
laugh at some people, and then Sunday I'm gonna be bringing the heat.
And then you got to boogie home, or are you coming home on Monday?
I come home on Monday morning, at 5 a.m.
Gotcha. That's not terrible then.
Yeah, it works out well. That's what I did for Extreme. Well, that was what I had planned for Extreme, but then now, yes, this is the Active Blue podcast. I just got these actually. I've been neglecting getting a pair. I don't know why, really. Then I spoke to Brian.
These are my dailies, and I quite enjoy them.
Yeah. I actually picked these up because I have the aviators, right? But these are a different one that he sells that say they're for shotgunners that, for my big-ass head, actually work a little better because they have the straight bows.
Yeah, so they're like the Fathead approved.
Yeah, so if anyone is fat-headed and wants aviator style, definitely pick these up from Brian. These frames are awesome. The only thing is they don't have side shields, so if you did wear them at a place of employment or some sort of OSHA regulated place, these are not Z87.
Yes, that is correct. And so depending on these, you couldn't actually wear, at least with OSHA, you can't wear active blues because they are gray photochromatic, but the golds you can wear at an OSHA regulated place because those are brown based.
Interesting. Yeah, because I know we had at the refinery we had rules about the tinting ones and at nighttime and weird things because people would be wearing out here looking like Eric Church wearing sunglasses in the dark and all this wild crazy stuff. But I like
sunglasses at night.
These are pretty. They're pretty nice. I've only had them about a week. I've been playing around with them. I was shooting in them today. I don't know.
I have not tried shooting in them yet, but I don't think it would be bad.
I don't know. It seems great. I mean, it didn't bother me at all. I mean, I shoot red dots. I don't know if it would be different if you're like a gremlin hunter or something and use the green dot, but
A gremlin hunter.
yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
But Mark, how was Black Friday for you?
Black Friday was pretty good. I mean, personally, I didn't do anything, but I mean, from a Bigfoot brass standpoint, I think we did. I mean, we did pretty well. Sales been it comes and goes, which is good. It's here or there. It's a consumable product, so you have a big group of people. I'm reading Alberto's comments and trying to not get sidetracked. My ADD is like, meh. Squirrel, and it was good. Yeah. I mean, so it's a consumable product, so people obviously like use it. And the nice thing about it being a consumable is they come back for more, right? Ideally. But the bad thing about it being a consumable is that things come in waves because different people use it in different times. And, I have some regular people that it seems like I ship them a case, every, month, every 5 weeks kind of thing. And then there's other people that buy 7 cases at once. And then there's other people who buy it and then haven't heard from them. 3,500 cases could last some people a long time, and it lasts other people a month.
Yeah, like for me personally, like I got this case coming, and maybe I got the slip with the extra case in there, so I'll get another case coming. But
Maybe
really,
it'll get there.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It'll show up like, hey, like Mark, my package is lost, and then another case.
Speaking of that, yesterday Matt Tucker messaged me, and he goes, "Do you know anything about this case of brass that just showed up at my house?" And I was like, "No, but I'm gonna guess it's the missing one that they insured 3 months ago." And sure shit it was. It was like in a box and it was broken open, and it was even the way I don't know what they do with these because I tape them. I literally put half a roll of tape on these boxes. They're in a bag inside of that. Even though my new move where the way I'm gonna be boxing stuff, I think is just gonna be individual thousands bagged. I can actually think I can ship it cheaper. I can get the shipping down to sub $7 a thousand, and the only way to ship small quantities is about $7 a thousand. If I get up to the medium flat rate's the best bet because I pay $16 to ship it, and I can get 3,500 cases, but you get into that like $30 mark when you start wanting to send a UPS box with 4,000 cases in it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Black Friday was good. Alberto says, "You like those new optics on your PCC?" So yes, long story, we can get into that a little bit. I partnered with Zabs has been partnered with them, and I am now also partnered with them. So Bigfoot kind of is with Lead and Steel, which is a company that a lot of people aren't really aware of out of Columbus. They have they got some like LEO contracts and different things like that. They make some pretty cool, really nice rifles. I personally have never shot one of their rifles. They look very nice. I would like to. I ultimately want to get my hands on one and shoot one, but their optics are very nice. I like the LP1 version 2 that's out now is a lower third, quick disconnect, super stout built, fully enclosed. It is like people are like, "Oh, it's like an EOTech." Yes, in like design and shape and size and durability, but it's not a holographic. It is a diode. It has a 68 MOA ring and a center 2 MOA dot. You can control it to not what they do to save battery life is the center dot is always on, but the outer MOA 68 MOA ring would turn off if you wanted it to. I don't even run it as far as on my PCC. And then aside from that, I actually then was toying around with their pistol optic on a Scalar Works lower third mount. That's actually what I'm going to be shooting this weekend. A really lightweight, quick setup. I mean, the whole thing is like 3 ounces with the sight and the mount. On the top of my gun, really small, just really dialed it. Because I was running a 507 comp before, so it's kind of the same idea, but in an enclosed optic, a little bit smaller window because it is like I always call them the toaster, the pistol optics that are fully enclosed. They look like a little toaster, a microwave on top of your gun, and that's one of the things. The aesthetic is kind of it's but functionality over the look. So
yeah, well, and like right now the LP1, I don't know if I think it's probably the V1, but the LP1 is on sale for $450, so $200 off.
That should be the new one. They don't have the version 2 is the only thing that's available now.
Bam.
So yeah, they were running some great Black Friday stuff. They had it had an optic included Jag rifle, which is their just as good, which is kind of like their budget line. I think they were running like $9.99, and the other one, their main rifle, they were selling for like $1,500 with the LP1
Damn.
for Black Friday. So yeah, eventually I want to get my hands on one of their rifles because they do look like they're a very nice build, and I like supporting small and local companies. It's good for me, and it's a good trade off. They have a really good social media presence, and they're really good about when I push something up, then they share it and whatever. And with 30,000 followers, that definitely can help me out too.
Yeah, that is definitely good when you can see you get the return on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to get them to send me an optic when it was just the V1, but Zaboinky, Zadaddy, Zaboinkadaddy couldn't hook a brother up. So
Zaboinkadaddy just texted me. He's on his way down right now because they're doing a little family trip because his I guess it would be his sister is down. Yeah, he said sister brother-in-law. So they're doing a little family trip down there around the North Florida section. So he was headed down, and then he was like, "Oh, we're headed back to the gate now for a medical emergency on our plane." And I was like, "Yeah, that's no fun." I was like, "It's better then than on the air." But yeah, Zab Donkey will be there. He's shooting with me on Sunday, Team Bigfoot.
But you're centerfoot.
Yeah, center Bigfoot. Big centerfoot.
So do you remember growing up and watching The Land Before Time?
I do, yeah. Littlefoot and Chomper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what whenever you say like centerfoot, I'm like Littlefoot.
Yeah. Chomper is a great name for a dog. I know somebody that has a dog named Chomper.
It's okay. The next one you own will be named Chomper.
I will. I've thought about that. Chomper would be a good dog name.
Yeah, but it has to be like an ankle biter.
Yeah. It probably won't be. It'll probably be another Lagotto Romagnolo.
Oh, what a Haga Waga Waga?
A Lagotto Romagnolo. It's very Italian.
What is it, like a bird dog?
Yeah, I mean they're hunting dog. Yeah.
Okay.
They used to be using them for waterfowl hunting, and then now they predominantly get used for truffle hunting. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
He's like 40 pounds. He's cute.
Only 40 pounds?
Yeah. I mean,
Jesus.
As opposed to 70-pound Labradors.
This is true.
So they're like the little lightweights. They're good for my wife likes the little couch dog.
The couch dog? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the couch dog.
He's good. Oh, we got I can't see how many. I got live and recording over top of the YouTube thing, but I can see I'm at 26 on Rumble. That's awesome.
It is pretty good. It's a little bit better than last week so far, so that's kind of nice to see.
I mean,
it's weird. The YouTube, like the Rumble number kind of is staying, but the YouTube guys, they just don't like us.
Yeah.
But it's all good because we're going to talk about this real quick. So anyone's interested, I am hosting Charlie Perez May 31st through the 1st of June at Oak Hill Gun Club, where the Michigan section is going to be at. Speaking of the Michigan section, we got one of the first stage sponsors of the match hanging out with us. Mark's going to sponsor the match because he's a good man, and he's going to hook up his homies. So
I do, yeah. I'm gonna have 4. Actually, I just found out I might need to talk to you. I might have to make that 5 homies.
But who else is a home? Damn.
Do you know Brandon Cromwell?
Oh, you've mentioned his name. Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
So Brandon Brandon lives up here by me. He's a trainer at Midwest Shooting Center in Appleton now.
Oh, with Justin?
With Justin, yeah. We can actually go into that if you want. We had our first trial run of a match there on Monday night, so that was pretty cool. We can go there in a second. But Brandon is he's a predominantly IDPA shooter is what he was into, shooting IDPA single stack. He shoots for Nighthawk Customs, which I have a Nighthawk on order now.
Well, your wife will think it's cheap, right?
Yeah, it is cheap. Yeah, it's highly affordable. They took care of me. He threw in probably threw in a hat and something really nice. But Brandon's probably going to come over with me. We may do something crazy like take the ferry or something.
I mean, so the cool thing about the ferry is we are working on coming up for Michigan. Oh, hell yes.
Oh, you should. Yeah.
All right. So you're going to shoot staff day, right?
And shoot them, and then shoot laser beams.
If you're shooting staff day, you let me know. I don't know if John's coming because John came last year and we can have a hoot of a squad. I'm not gonna lie, but I can reserve spots. See, this is the power of having practice score admin access. You can just make your own shit and tell the match director tough shits.
Yeah. What we're gonna do actually is Brandon was telling me we're gonna shoot Saturday at Michigan. And then he's gonna do the same thing he did last year and shoot. There's an IDPA match somewhere right.
Who's your daddy? Yes,
Who's
it's a
Your
very
Daddy?
good. It's a very. If it wasn't on the same weekend, I've been trying to
Yeah.
shoot it.
So Brandon's going to make me go do that, and I'm like, I'm not getting a fishing vest, and he goes, just shoot your PCC, and I said, okay, fine.
Yep. All you got to do is make sure it makes 135.
That will be my 135. What power factor?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that ain't a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we'll just.
Yeah.
So that's the game plan. Is we're gonna do the Western or Michigan sectional, and then do that Who's Your Daddy IDPA. Probably will be my first and only rip at IDPA, but who knows?
So this was the funny part. Is that I mean, actually, if I shoot any IDPA, it'll be with a PCC because I'm too lazy to have like an IDPA legal gun. Yeah. But yes, Brian, reach out to me if you're working on coming up for Michigan and sponsoring. I have a better deal than what's published in the matchbook.
Oh Jesus! Why don't I get that? Nobody gave me that better deal.
It's the same thing. Ding dong.
Any plans to shoot Midwest in Ohio this winter with Sam P?
I have his phone number. He told me that the first match was on him. But that is like a 2.5, 3 hour drive in the winter. So, yeah.
Well, here's what we'll do, Manny. We'll pick one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will come. You pick me up at the Detroit airport.
Okay.
Okay. We'll go to my parents' house. We can stay there, and then we can go down and back to Lima. It's only an hour.
Okay.
Or whatever, or however it would play out. If you're worried about the drive, we could break it up in one night. I'll come do that. I will come go to a match there because I've actually never shot a match there. I went there to tour the place with Sam. That was when I was actively trying to purchase the what is now Midwest Shooting Center Appleton franchise. Day late and $1 short. Too short. Yeah. More so the day late than the $1 short, unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah. So as I mentioned, Charlie Perez, he'll be here before end of May, early beginning of June. So if you want to take that class, get with me. Payment options. So I'm the host, so I can make things happen. But also, I guess I need to pull this up now. And this is the worst part about this is okay, cool. Here's my calendar, guys, for the rest of the year. I'm cool like that and have a calendar made. Nice. Obviously we've got today, we're on the 5th right now. And then we've got 2 Alpha News every Thursday this month, which is awesome. I've got an Ann Arbor Arms indoor match that I'm running on the 23rd, and then we got some holidays, so that'll be a good time for all of y'all. And then when we come to, let's remove that, we got January. We got we only have 2 episodes of 2 Alpha News in January because I am taking mental management with Steve Anderson the 9th, 16th, and the 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want in on that, I'm in that. It's on his website, so just look it up. It's the January slots. So do that. Boom, boom.
There's a December. The match is currently full. Sam's match is already full for December.
Dude, it sells out in like 2 seconds. That's like,
yeah. But
it's also a 2 weekend event.
That's the thing, yeah. So you have Sunday on the 12/15, and then Sunday, you have the 15th and the 22nd. It's weird though. It says it's sold out, but the Sunday the 22nd has a bunch of empty spots.
Well, here's the thing. It's probably people who didn't get to squad with their friends, so they haven't squatted.
Yeah.
And that's getting people to understand that when you're on a wait list is like absolutely like insane.
AKA, if I want to go, they will make room.
Yes. And then Big Mike Shoots. Hello, Big Mike Shoots. Oak Hill doesn't seem like a bad drive. Touch over 4 hours from Indy could be a fun time. Yes, it could be. It definitely would be. I hosted Tom here. Tom at the same weekend on the same range. This year it was good. Everyone got something out of it. I just decided to bring Charlie up because I was kind of talking about it for 2 years now. So being the big panda performance. I
should text Sam and find out when his January match is going to be and try to hit one of those weekends. Because that would help a lot before Extreme.
Yes, I had to. What was it? Oh, I had to friend Kevin Jones to get Sam's phone number. So we are both
Jones.
Kevin Jones or the Corey lookalike.
Midwest Shooting Center Corey Katz.
Oh God, if you said Corey Shield would be like, what the hell? I don't look anything like other Corey. The only thing
so many Corys.
Too many Corys. Fight to the death of truth.
Yeah, way too many Corys.
Yeah, so
we got
robot noise.
Oh wow.
It has one of those features. We only got about a half hour until Mark's got to get ready for the big Green Bay versus Lions game.
Packers Lions. That's going to be a game.
It's gonna be an interesting game. It's at least it's on Amazon tonight.
Lions are nuts. They've been popping off this year. So who knows? It's wild to think that Dan Campbell running them. He was on the 0-16 team as a player.
Mm-hmm.
It's just totally off topic, but here we are. Football, and it's
like shooting, right? It's kind of like golf. Like just like I explained to people, we just play golf with guns.
So I actually, you mentioned Steve Anderson's mental management class, and I've never taken his mental management class, but part of the way that I handle my mental management, and I have done this a lot playing competitive golf, is I treat shooting a lot like I always treated competitive golf. And that is, it's not you versus somebody else, it's you versus the course. Mm-hmm. And each stage is like a hole in the golf course. And I was one of those in golf, I never looked at scores. And I'm the same way now with shooting. I don't look at scores because my head works is I want to attack the stage. I got to do my thing and do the best that I can. Right. Yep. I don't want to do something silly because somebody else did it this way, or, I usually stick to my stage plan. Every now and then I have seen somebody like do something and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make that change, and I'm going to do that because that just makes way more sense. I don't know why I did, and that can happen. You just didn't see that, or you didn't think about that engagement order or something usually it's something like an engagement order to like an exit of a spot or something like that. Mm-hmm. And, but that's kind of how I treat it. I just don't look at scores, just shoot, and that's at the end of the day, it's, like we always say, it's kind of like alphas per second. I do the spot dot shot routine. It's like get between the spots fast, and then you got to shoot a lot of alphas once your feet are planted.
Yeah. I mean, you honestly you need to take Tom class and learn about the crash. It's going to change how you'd shoot.
The crash.
Don't fall down though.
Yeah. I mean, I was a subscriber of Tom's stuff for like a long time. I was on the inner circle and looking through that stuff and practicing a lot of those drills and everything and doing all that stuff. And I understand. I mean, that's the big thing. That's where there's a lot of time gained. I got to watch Max shoot a few, and I think I talked about this on Dave's podcast. I got to watch Max shoot a few stages, and he's like always shooting. That's the thing. There was a stage at Nationals that he did totally different that everybody else is like, and that it's just raw skill at the end of the day. Like he's shooting and moving. He's shooting his entry target. Like you talk about the crash, he's shooting the entry target during the crash, and he's shooting the exit target while exiting. The difference is like I do that shit and I throw bad shots. He does that shit and put some touch in 2 alpha dead center mass.
Right.
So
yeah, Max is insane.
Yeah. It's like, he's a machine, and it's fun to watch. I mean, because it doesn't look forced. It's just smooth, and so I always liked watching JJ Ricasa. He's like my favorite from watching a pistol shooter. I just really like the way JJ looks when he shoots. He's just so smooth, like calculated. It just doesn't even seem rushed. It's same in like golf when you watch these guys. It looks like it's like an effortless thing, and they just pure a 220-yard 6-iron. Like it's nothing.
It is. It's insane. It's insane how the top guys are kicking ass, chewing bubble gum.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move to the next thing I was going to talk about. Do we want to talk about the spicy meatball that's been on the internet lately, or have we personally talked about that enough?
I'm down for any spicy. I'm not even sure which spicy meatball you're referring to, but it's probably the appendix carry meatball.
10,
And
5, 16.
yeah, 10, 5, 16 cock carry, or
Yeah.
what did we call it? Crotch carry or
Yes,
crotch optics?
crotch
Yeah.
optics. Now everything can be crotch optics.
The rule is the rule. I had this discussion on Monday night with a guy who was shooting. He was shooting from appendix, which I have no problem with it. Right? I carry EDC appendix every day.
Yep.
And I think I will argue that personally, I think it's the best way to carry a defensive firearm. It puts it in the workspace. It puts it, where I can use it. For me, it's comfortable. When I used to be bigger, it wasn't as comfortable. It's more comfortable now. But I had this conversation with this guy who's a newer shooter, and he was literally shooting his carry gun at our Hit Factor match that we had. He was just a member at Midwest and heard about the match and wanted to try it. And I helped him through it, everything. I explained to him, I was like, if you start looking at stuff online right now, there's a whole bunch of garbage about this. And I said, I'll explain it to you exactly how I understand it and how it has been described by Troy. And if people can argue and say that Troy, blah, 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 whatever, his interpretation is what goes, though. It can be wrong. There's channels to address that, but it's what goes. I basically explained to him, you have to think about the holster. In all of these rules, uprange and downrange are the plane of the holster. And that's what matters. If you bisect the pistol in the holster, where is it pointing? You can make it look obscure. I was going to make a video before Tom made his video, and then I was like, well, I don't need to make another video. But I had my Glock in appendix carry, and I put a 56 round MBX magazine in it, right? It's perfect for extrapolating that line that the pistol is making, because I can stand there and show you a straight line and be like, that line is the 180 line. Or 90-degree bisection, whatever. And you can see that you barely have to turn to the left if you're a right-handed shooter, and it's up range. Like, that is as simple as that. No matter what, it's not okay to draw your weapon up range. That's just the rule that they're trying to say. Is it 5-6? That people try to say the 3-foot halo.
Oh, yeah. While facing downrange,
yeah,
allowing the muzzle of a loaded firearm to point uprange beyond a radius of 3 feet from competitor's feet while drawing or reholstering. I imagine in the rules audit, this rule will either get eliminated or reworked or something.
Yeah, because what that has to do with, that's facing downrange, right? So that the plane of the holster puts the gun downrange. That has to do if you're like, the way it was described to me is, imagine if you're, say, standing up out of a chair, or you're leaning a little bit forward, or you're in a slightly awkward position. There's a chance that the muzzle could be what you would call uprange, right? But that one is kind of a weird one. If we're doing downrange and uprange as the plane of the holster, but then uprange here, the downrange while facing downrange, aka
anything but uprange.
Yeah, the plane of the holster is downrange. But now when we get to the uprange, that's the muzzle of the loaded firearm. We're talking now uprange. And it really has to do with, like, if you, depending on the cant of the holster, things like that. I mean, most people cant it the other way, I guess. If you're like square shoulders downrange, right? And most people would have it canted slightly, muzzle toward your toes, then muzzle toward your heels.
Yeah, 10.5.6 kind of helps the guys with the FBI cant guns, or like the Safari Land drops that are canted funky.
Or the instance of, I'm sitting in a chair, and as I'm standing, I go for the draw. Now it's probably forward, or if you lean forward, even you can get your gun to point backwards. Like, that's the whole thing, because in essence, you're kind of like you're kind of muzzling yourself, even, because the rules are that when you clear the trigger from the holster, it is considered unholstered. Like, the gun is out of the holster, and now all of that comes into play. So it's we didn't get into a debate. I just was explaining to this guy about that. I was like, you just have to be cognizant. The same way I can't start facing straight right, you can't start facing straight left. Like, it all has to do with just where the holster is. And he was really good about straight down range, shirt, draw, pistol, start shooting stuff. And the thing is, it's easy at an indoor because especially there, we can't shoot. We can only shoot straight away. We don't have any sort of 180 like at Sam's in his little private spot. You can shoot 180 indoors, and that leads itself to, I want to start turned at this left side target. Well, if you're appendix, you can't. You need to be over to the center of the right, draw, then turn.
Right.
And plenty of people do it. I watched Cody Burdick do it the entire match at Area 2 as part of the Hunter Constantine Bounty Outlaw, whatever they had a name for it. Most Wanted.
Yeah. $1,000. Who wouldn't want $1,000?
Exactly. Why? So that got me thinking, is like, you should like take the thumb rest off of and like modify a holster and shoot an open gun from appendix. And get open major.
You could.
You could slay. Even with open, so I have my Nighthawk that's getting built will be it's basically a PCSL comp gun is what it's going to be for. It's going to be a single port comp design, and you could shoot that I'll have it set up. You could shoot that appendix open minor.
Yeah.
And you're still at an advantage in that over an LO shooter.
Yeah, I can see that.
You can put a big stick in it, and it's compensated.
Right.
Not that honestly is that going to make. I mean, my D2, my 5-inch D2 shoots so flat, like it's like it feels like a cheater mode. Like it doesn't even move. But the gun also weighs like 52 ounces or something.
God, your limited optics gun almost weighs as much as my open gun. It's insane. Well,
yeah, because you got to think your open gun's a little shorter. Yeah, you have a comp on the end, but then you have your frame cut down, you have your dust cover cut down, you have your slide cut down. You do have a comp hanging out on the end, but I don't know what the material the comp is. Are those titanium? Or I don't know what he makes the comps out of.
Last I knew they're steel.
Okay, so they're steel. Yeah.
But yeah, so I love my D2 gun. I'm wearing this hat though.
Mine shoots good. I was dry firing with it today. I was having fun with it.
I was gonna dry fire, but I had to talk to my short little buddy Andrew. So
I dry fire. He's down there. He's shooting tomorrow.
Yep, he's shooting tomorrow.
Yeah, he went down there for something, and then
yeah,
he gets to shoot tomorrow. We'll get some. He'll get to put some scores down for us, so we know what we're chasing.
I love your enthusiasm about that. I'm just gonna chuckle. He's like, I'm gonna run better. I'm like, no, dude, you waddle. No matter what you say about running, you waddle. And he's like, that's not true, but it's because I'm short. I'm like, yes.
There was a shot. It was at extreme, and it was a swinger over the top of hardcover steel. It was so minimal. I mean, when it stopped, it would have had to have just been legal for me. He could have made the argument. That's a good question, a good rules question. Andrew could have made the argument that was not a legally presented target to a shooter of his height.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way he could see 50% of the A of an IPSC target if you stopped that swinger over that steel. There's zero, because I probably just barely had 50%. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
That is a good question. We definitely have to worry about that up here. We got a couple short people, so we definitely have that problem from time to time.
Yeah, that's why we should have high ports. For every low port, there should be a 6-foot high port. And if you can't shoot through it, then you have to get up on a step stool or something.
Well, and here's the thing. You just have a port that goes all the way from the top of the wall to the bottom of the wall. So you don't have to worry about those for the tall people or the short people.
Yeah, that's what, if you want to force somebody, like a lot of the nationals lately have been that way. If you want to force someone into a spot, just make it a gap in the wall and make them shoot there. None of this, I don't know. I don't mind it, because I love when people are like, "Oh, Mark, wait, like handgun nationals. Oh, Mark, wait till you get up top and see those low ports." And I get up there, and I'm like, "Well, joke's on all you jokers, because I can shoot this in one position just by transferring my weight from left foot to right foot, and everyone else had to move in the crouch position. So it actually was better for me."
That is good.
Yeah.
But you shot with like all the homies too. You shot with the Donkey and Mr. Clark Dark.
That was at handgun.
Oh yeah,
that was right. I shot. We had the squad house and all the we had a homie squad at the
PCC National,
at
right?
PCC Nationals. Yeah, we had Kyle Kanapa and Dave Lyles ripping the open guns, and then we just had a full squad of PCC warriors, the Team Da Vinci letting it eat.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Didn't Ryan have to go home early, so he was super drunk at the award ceremony?
Yeah, Ryan. That was handgun. That
Yeah.
was handgun. Ryan got DQ'd on the first day on. I didn't see it. It's so hard to tell based on the video. So my first impression, my first thing would be that the design was dumb. A
Mhm.
stage design that that allots itself even for the chance of a safety violation is stupid.
Mhm.
Like, we're not trying to trap competitors into doing stuff that's unsafe. Like, that's where I completely disagree. Like, it was like 179, it was like 89 degrees this way to 89 degrees this way transition for single targets. And what happened is Ryan, I think, trigger froze and kind of stayed right there on the paper. But like, the gun is right there on the paper. In the video, he fires and the gun goes downrange, and you can still see Brown on the target. If
Mhm.
that's the case, and you can still see Brown, he's not past the 180 because you can't set it up so he can engage it past the 180. So like, he shoots and the gun goes downrange. It doesn't tail there, nothing. It's downrange and you can still see Brown, which means it's not a 180, but there's nothing you can do. It gets called and you're done. And that's what I don't like. I wish there was a way that but then if everybody would have to video to have any sort of like video replay, that's that whole thing with the appendix thing. They used to have that video, and then they said, well, they called the range master over and he overturned the RO. And I was like, the range master is wrong then. The RO is right.
Mhm.
In what he called in that Ben Stoger video that they posted, and that guy was just trying to argue with he knew the way he rattled off the rules right away. He knew that he was trying to call, like, there's no point in it. You're at a match, like, I get it, it's just some little shitty local, like, whatever, a practice match.
Mhm.
Still, like, you went there to argue. Like, no, just follow the rules. Whether you agree with them or not, you still have to. There's a whole slew of rules that the ATF makes us follow that we don't agree with, right?
Yep.
But here we are.
Yeah.
That's the nature of it. Like, I had somebody argue with me, well, Troy's interpretations are always spot on, right? And I was like, I'm not going to agree or disagree with that because there are things that I disagree with.
Mhm.
Sure. But at the end of the day, what he says is how it's enforced. He determines how the rules end up being enforced.
Yep.
And like I said, there are channels to change it if you disagree with it. And it might fall on deaf ears, probably will, but it is what it is. You can follow it or you can go home early. Like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just how it is at the moment,
Yeah.
until they come up with a new rule or whatnot.
I personally don't think there needs to be a new rule. I think the rule is, if people understand the plane of the holster is what determines the uprange, downrange part of the draw, then there doesn't need to be a new rule. It's you can't, if you're going to appendix carry, you can't start out to the left.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I can turn to the left to, like, say, a 45 degree where my gun is now 45 degrees uprange. Can I draw that weapon completely safely and engage that target? Absolutely. But if you do it for one, now everybody gonna want to do that. Now, does that I can face straight up range in the El Presidente, and I can safely draw my gun and turn around.
Mhm.
Sure. Sure, I can. But then how do you enforce it, right? Because that's like, I always say, if you think about the PCC, stock touching belt, both hands on rifle, stock touching belt, muzzle down range. I can
Mhm.
start with that, right? I can start like all the way this way if I wanted to. As far to the edge as the RO basically would let you, I guess. Well, you don't know until he would just DQ you because it's not.
Right. This is true.
Yeah, but ultimately, if I'm starting looking just muzzle pointed directly at a target, it can't be at the 180, right? It has to
Mhm.
be legal. So basically, I can start with my muzzle pointing at any target I want. By rule.
That is true.
So it's kind of like, that's one of those weird ones. I guess you could argue that there's a potential for something like, we need more lawyers involved. Absolutely.
I don't know. Do we really? I mean, that's that's always the problem. Is like, we don't want like, I hate learning more rules. I mean, maybe 10, 5, 16 could be rewritten because of all the commas and the ands. Like, but I mean, rule number 1: don't point the gun uprange.
Yeah, gun never points uprange. The gun is pointed uprange if the plane of the holster is uprange.
Yes.
And it's drawn when you expose the trigger.
Right. And I don't understand the people who will stand like right on the 180. Like as a right-handed shooter, like their hips are like straight up on the 180 and they got to run backwards. I don't understand. 1, bad stage design if you're forcing shooters to do that. And 2, don't be dumb people. Don't do that. Put your hips, can it at a 45, put them down range, draw the gun, and then turn your hips. Like, and we don't have this problem.
Yeah. Just get the gun out first and then move.
Yes.
That's what I told the guy that was shooting his first like match, and it was appendix. I said, if you start just like this, facing just like this, straight down range, and you get the gun out of the holster, and then you move, you're fine. And he was perfect with it all night. I shot 4 stages, just boom, pistol out, and then move. Because there was 2 of the stages you did have to move off the draw. You didn't have to, I suppose, but I think that was the right play.
Yeah.
Because you might as well have coupled the movement with your draw and then come back to the standing spot. But that's always my mentality.
Yeah. I'm trying to find your Appleton match, but it's
it's MSC Hit Factor or something. It was our very first one. So long story short, the owners don't want us to be able to like have a match on like public when it's open, right? Which I get paying customers, this and that. So Mondays they're not open, so they allowed Justin and Brandon them to open it. Justin was able to acquire all the stuff. He had we had 2 swingers inside. It was it was a lot of fun. And we kind of had the stages designed to, snow fence to hang, to make walls. Kind of had the ideas stages were pretty similar. We had 2 squads, shot, flipped, changed the bays, shot, flipped. And it was under 3 hours. We shot, not a lot of trigger time. I don't know what the round count was. I was going stupid fast on the stand and shoot and had 2 mics, but I think I only shot like 35 seconds for the whole match. But I don't know what the exact round. One of them was like a
82
rounder. 82 rounds. There we go.
Which it's kind of hard, honestly. Like I'm co-match director with Bob for the Ann Arbor Arms indoor matches.
Yeah.
So I design the stages, build the stages. Bob does practice score, and our other buddy Robbie is the range contact guy. So I design stages, and at the last match, I had people bitch I had a double bay. One had 24 rounds stand and shoot, and then I had like a 27 round, like 3 per stage, and they're like, "This is too many rounds to like shoot back to back." So we're gonna shoot all of this one stage, and then we're gonna shoot all of the next stage in the same bay, because I could have them set up at the same time.
Yeah, see, so
it created a massive backup from people not like splitting the squad.
I don't know how they're set, like what that range is like, but like Midwest it's got two divided. I think there's probably 8 lanes each, so it's not too it's not like there's not a ton of room. It's not super wide. I can show you. I'd be curious to look at some of those. My idea was that I told them is what we need to do is stage plans so that both the stages you plan to put on the same side use all the same equipment, right? Use the exact same target presentations in different spots. So all you do is move the stands, move the barrels, move the walls. You already have all the walls you need, all the barrels you need, and all the targets are the same. So like if you have a double stack or a hardcover stack or something, it's just in a different spot or whatever, you move it around. So we didn't have to change targets. We didn't have to do anything. And that kind of flowed really well. Like I said, by the time we got rolling, I think it was under 3 hours. He had new tablets. We had commander timers, like had a bunch of pacer guns with the with nice big rolls of pacers and everything. So I mean, for our first one, it was good. I think that we had 20 shooters, so that makes
2 10-man squads.
yeah, it's 600 let's say $600 for entry for the owner. Plus, I mean, a few people bought some stuff. The owner wanted to have the store, staffed, obviously, because you have the public like in there and moving around. But we had 20 shooters. It'd be cool. It'll be interesting to see what they'll let us. We could definitely take a few more. I mean, you could go to 12 or I don't know if I'd really want to go more than like 12. They're fast though. You could get away with 12, 14 shooters on a squad.
You could, long as everybody's pasting. That's like the big problem is like when nobody's pasting and you're like, hey, we have a 13-man body squad, but y'all suck.
Yeah.
Like so
I've seen it both ways. I've shot slow as hell with 13 shooters on a squad, and then I've shot the Wisconsin section match that Chris St. Clair ran was a half day, 10 stages with 8-man squads.
Mm-hmm.
And we flew through that match, and it was tons of fun.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now,
you put like 11 seconds on the field.
Yeah, I was
shooting
shooting
your
a
PC.
PCC though.
Yeah, but like you still stomped them.
Yeah,
like
I mean, they shouldn't have had to draw. And the timing is the big one. And if you take the mics out on the last stage, then it's just straight Gapplebees everywhere.
Gapplebees.
Yeah, BOGO apps at Gapplebees. But I mean, at the end of the day, all of those, I mean, a couple of them had reloads, but the reload is always, it's like, okay, yes, you have a reload, but it's in a spot where you're not, you put it in a spot where you're not shooting anyway. So if you don't fumble it, you're good. Shooting optional, pasting mandatory. Oh, we got a glorified G.
He's a guy on YouTube. I've interacted with him a little bit, but Brian, you are correct. It's also annoying when we do have to do like a split squad. So the guy on the timer pretty much runs the tablet on that stage too. So, well, and that's the problem is like, everyone knows my buddy Ken and I, Ken Lane, we'll pretty much work. Yeah. The fluffster. We'll work anything, right? We'll be there and help. But the problem is we also have people who are like, oh, I'm just a shooter. I'm like, not today, motherfucker. Like grab that paste. Either you're grabbing the pasters or you're grabbing this tablet or timer.
Yeah, because I try to always be good about that. I mean, I want to do my part. My other thing is I have to stay moving. Mm-hmm. Like you'd struggle to ever see me sit down. Like I use the S3 range card. I mostly ever just stand on it to show people that it'll handle 300 pounds when they don't believe me. But you won't really see me using it as a seat because I'm one of those people, I can't sit down. If I sit down, then I just feel so stagnant. And that's like staff reset and stuff is, I got to stay moving. And I try to help out. I mean, usually my methodology is if I'm up or, if we got a lot of people and everything's good, maybe even in the hole shooter and, I get that mental game ready. I get ready to shoot. And then after I shoot, that's when I just dedicate myself to reloading my mags. And then I put them in my bag and then they're ready to go when I'm up on the next stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to worry about it. I just got to remember to put them on my belt and walk up there and, go do my thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I always got to be doing something or moving.
Yeah.
It's
something simple. I just, give me the spray paint or something. I'll walk down there and get me get some steel or whatever.
My least favorite thing is spray painting in the winter, like at Steel Challenge, because then it's at eye level. So it's just going to get your glasses covered in paint. And it's annoying.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what Glorified G is asking.
So I think when it referred to, when he was talking about more, we need more lawyers involved, like when it comes to the rules lawyers on 10.5.16, there's a bit of a gotcha, but you read and understand the instruction thing going on. But I guess this so is the 4473. So pardon me for asking. I guess I kind of don't get it either, but
the newest 4473 has like some weird questions that kind of, it's like answer this, but then don't answer that. If you answered yes to this, unless you answered yes to this, then answer that kind of thing. Like there's one of the boxes on the back that's like on the second page. It's like 21A. If you answer yes to 21A, then you have to answer 21B. But if you answer no, then you don't. It's and then if there's any sort of mistake, they want you to do another one. And it's when by rule you can cross it out, initial and date. But it's better to just shred it and do another one.
Yeah, this is why I always ask my buddy Chris. I'm like, "What are they asking on this question again?" Because there's like 2 questions
Yeah.
that are pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Like,
and
but
technically, by law, they can't help you. Like, you could be like, "You have to answer these questions," and then, "Oh, don't forget, Mike, there is a question right there." Like, so you can see it, but it's one of
yeah,
those. Yeah.
I usually ask like I talk to my FFL when I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Did I like? Are they trying to make me retarded?"
Yeah. Then they
But it's
change
usually how it
them, and
goes.
it's like the first question and the last question are the same now, basically, on the check boxes. It's like, "Are you buying this for yourself?" "Yes." "Are you buying this with the intent to sell it to somebody else?" "No." Like,
Yeah,
it's like, and it's
yeah,
only that's what I explained to people. I said, "It's only a crime to acquire it for someone who can't acquire it themselves."
yep,
That's the thing. You can acquire it and gift it to somebody, as long as the person you gift it to can legally acquire it themselves.
yes, this is true.
Yeah,
Yep, as
so
long
I'm
as you're
kinda
not
like,
making straw purchases.
yeah, it's like, if I'm not buying it for somebody, that's why you either like, when you do a face-to-face sale, that's what I always told people. I was like, if you do a face-to-face sale, you either ask all the questions or none of them. Because if you ask any questions, or you're just like, "Oh, $500, here's your gun, see ya." Or you'd be like, "Let me see your concealed carry permit," like, because otherwise you can get yourself in a ton of trouble. Or be an active crackhead, lie, and buy. Oh, that's like a Hunter Biden joke. Oh,
Yeah.
Joe, pardon me. I got it now. I
Uh-huh.
see. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah. You just be an active crackhead and lie, and then eventually, your dad won't pardon you, but then your dad loses. So of course he was gonna pardon him either way. So
Yep.
let's be
Exactly.
honest. I mean, that's what a father would do, right? Are you really gonna let your kid go to prison?
His son was never gonna see any time inside of a cell.
No. Too much dirty money.
Yep, exactly. But all right. Well, we're at the time because Mark's got to go get ready for the football game.
We can keep going if you got anything. I got a little more time if we
I gotta pee and
anything else
but
you wanna
it's time to
chit chat
pinch it. It's
about?
almost time to pinch it off.
Yeah, I mean, we got 23. I think at one point we were up to 27, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, we had a good amount of people in here. Which I guess Rumble really is the answer. But
Yeah.
so we'll probably just go back to exclusively Rumble next week. But Mark, who you who's dealing with the brass? Who's the partners with the Bigfoots and the Littlefoots
Got
and
a lot of partners with the big feet. We obviously I work directly with S3 Range Carts as an ambassador. They've been great to me, and Mike is really good about giving back and supporting a lot of the larger scale stuff for the USPSA with the nationals and the a lot of the area matches and everything like that. I'm excited to see what kind of sponsorship stuff he's going to have entail for this year. Obviously, Da Vinci Machining, Dave Padovan has been great, and I shoot those guns. They work very well for me. I like the reliability, and I've been really happy to be a member of that team, and I got a lot of good people that shoot there with me. Partnered with Lead and Steel, and been supply me with the optics that I'm running, which is great, and really good company. I can't wait to get my hands on one of their rifles and actually give it a try. Republic Ammunition is my go-to for everything, basically reloading supplies. I work with Heath directly all the time, and he's got just about everything. So I tell people to check him out. He's got primers, bullets, all sorts of brass, like not like the brass you need from me, but he's got there's any random brass somebody's looking for, Heath's got it. He's right in Lima, Ohio too. So if anybody makes it out that way, you can swing in there and take a look. And then obviously Brian Conley, Hunter's HD Gold. He's great. I just talked to Brian yesterday. I think it was on the phone. He was driving out to. He was on the second half, I think, of his leg out to PCSL Nationals. Him and Luigi were trucking on the way out there, and apparently it's his birthday, so they got a whole slew of fun stuff planned for a hockey game in Vegas, and coming back and hitting a Stars game in Dallas on the way back. So it'd be great.
yeah.
Oh, gotta have a great night, guys.
Yep. Yep. That's Tim. I just sent him some information. Somebody sent me an email, I think.
Yeah. And then I can never forget Mr. In your background there, Mr. John Royer in Outdoor Dynamics has been treating me really well, and him and I have been working together on some stuff. So it's got the PCC ammo, even though he doesn't like us PCC guys. He always
He
Says I
likes
can.
you more than open shooters.
He always says I complain. Yeah, well, the open is that's a whole nother beast in itself.
Yeah, and I
But
told him he better not be loading open ammo. It just doesn't make any sense.
we got the PCC ammo dialed in real nice. So I shot it for I shot the finished product for the first time at Area 2, and it shot awesome. It was like 133 on the chrono. I've been practicing with it the last couple days in that match on Monday, getting ready for North Florida this weekend. So he'll have that down there, and yeah, he's been great to me with all that. So I've been just trying to support the people who support me and doing my best.
Yep. As always, like as we talk about my partners, well, first let me talk about Corey's partners, make him not feel so bad. He has Shield Manufacturing, Hunters HD Gold, Victor's Legacy, Southern Barbecue, and Excalibur Ammunition. As myself, obviously, this show is brought to you by Outdoor Dynamics. So use the code Manny for 5% off your order. It really helps out a lot. Go buy some ammo. I just saw a box of Outdoor Dynamics made it to Chris Baker's house in the Florida area, in the Ohio area. But as always, Manny Talk Shooting is brought to you by D2 Custom Guns. Dan builds fabulous guns. Mark and I both have them. He's just not that bougie. He doesn't have an open gun yet. Make stuff better as always here. The Wolves are probably still hanging out in the comments. Made this awesome little Christmas ornament that I'm going to hang on the tree as soon as I get the wife to get me some ribbon. And Hunters HD Gold, my daily glasses. My buddies Tony and Jackie over at Laugh and Load, they're great people. They have some good merch. Go check them out as well. Range Panda and Gianni Giordano, great people. Made a new case for them that came from me this year. I was excited about that. 2F Apparel, who made my new jerseys, which should be done any day now. Southern Barbecue to feed me while I'm on the range, and my buddy Mark here, who helps me with breath when I need it. And then I saw a guy shoot PCC, get to shoot for no score at Chrono, made 105. Yep, sucks to suck for them. Know your ammo before you go.
I don't even know if my gun would run at 105 with the orange Springco spring and the Kinshot buffer. I don't know if it would cycle at one. It's short stroked with a heavy spring. I don't know if it'd cycle at 105.
I doubt it would too.
Yeah.
We could try.
Yeah, it will. It shoots 1,775 feet per second with my open ammo. I had to know.
Hey, at least it worked.
Oh, if you're referring to that, it was pretty iffy.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't worried about it like blowing up. I mean, you got a full in a PCC. Think about it, you have the most supported chamber that you can really get. It's full. I mean, it's fully supported all the way around. So
yeah, it's in the receiver.
It shot totally fine. It was. I mean, if anything, the bullet was going to be in pieces and fragged out. But those are good hollow points. So I wasn't really worried about it. But it was definitely the spice.
That is true. But all right, as I always say every week, guys, get out and do the things. I'm going to see you on the next one, and go check out Mark at Bigfoot Brass.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.